Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale. Yeah, I got to get my glasses on so I can see everything with battery. I'm getting a little blind in my days and age. But, hey, it's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, or anything you want to talk about in the automobile world, love to hear from you. 316-462-3673. Jump on the line there. That comes right to the front desk. Tell the girls you want to get patched in the podcast. You get a great package valued over $130 for each and every caller calling in. And Josh is getting all the channels still put together for where we're headed in, who we're podcasting to live.
Yeah, just updated a couple of them. So sorry, a couple of them on the racing side of things will join just a little bit later, but I think it's still trying to get connected to Salt City Racing. But looks like we have some of them, not quite all of them yet, but they'll be with us here shortly. So
all right,
we'll check here in just a little bit. But yeah, like you said, call-in show 316-462-3673, number to jump on the air here with us.
Anyway, for that great call in, and Josh, what's in that package as always?
So we're going to send it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hambelton Ford. We're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on that vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components that are related to that vehicle, just making sure that it's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673. Anyway, Josh, going to kick it over to the racing side for a little bit. Just got done with the Salt City event last night. Had the Thunder Through the Plains with the USRS Rebel late models and sprint cars, and had a good fun night over there last night. So had a good crowd over there. So I hope everybody had a good time attending that. The both classes put on a hell of a show on the half mile, and I guess my best part about it is when I got done racing and everybody came up to me and said, thank you for a great racetrack. So we've got a great crew that's prepping that track. It's been learning that track and everything else like that, but it was a great racetrack last night. Mother Nature worked well for us.
Yeah.
Not so good for 81 Speedway. I felt sorry for those guys. They had the high limit guys coming into town. I was excited to go out there
Wednesday, I think, Wednesday.
So sorry for all the folks that was excited for 81 Speedway. I do know it's coming back next year. I know that for a fact. They have booked it for next year. So anyway, sorry for that for 81 Speedway. But Mother Nature kind of worked out good for us and put the right amount of water down from the rain. We didn't have to put too much water on our stuff either, but worked the track in, had a great car count, had a great fans in the stands, and it was fun to have a good show.
And you had what classes did you run?
Had the late models and a 305 sprints.
Okay.
So
very good.
Always want more in the crowd. We always want more cars, but it was still a great time, and all the racers seemed happy. Everybody seemed great. The fans were excited. They all come down through the pits after the show, was excited. So
yeah, how's working out pitting on that west side?
Much better. It is so much better on that west side. Not having to be over there and coming in out of two gates and everything. It just makes the show flow. The show flowed so well last night. We could actually do, for the first time that I wanted to do, is driver introductions. And we got to do that last night. So that was very cool to get the drivers in front of the crowd. And instead of just seeing them buckled in their helmets and stuff, they can actually see them in person and stuff. So it was great to do driver introductions. And so the Thunder Through the Plains is headed to Dodge City tonight. So if you want to see some more great racing action, you need to head out to Dodge City and have some more fun watching those sprint cars and late models go. So
you're en route to Dodge City.
I'm en route to Dodge City. Yeah. So Team 3J had a pretty good night. Still learning the race car, learning what's going on with that. Hell of a jump from a modified to a late model. And that was Jake's fourth race, and finished. He had a close third to second race. He led the heat race for second, and then got into a lap car, and he just made a wrong decision, and Tanner Mullins got around him, and so he finished third there, but then went out for the pole dash for the top six cars, and he won it.
Oh, very good.
So we won the pole dash. That started us on the pole, and then I don't know. It was a good race. Kip Hughes got second, Tanner won it again, and Jake came in third, and then Dan Smith came in fourth. So it was a good fun show. Then the sprint cars went out, and they put on a great show, and those guys there was a a lot of racing action in the front 4 or 5 cars and stuff too. So it was a lot of fun there for those sprint cars. So
I mean, to be fourth time in a car in a race and
to get some kind of a win already, I was pretty pumped about that. And you know, still watching the film and watching where we're at with the 3J car. We've got some, you know, more confidence to get in the car, more laps. I mean, but to win the pole dash behind Tanner, second, Kip Hughes and Dan Smith and those guys, and to win that and hold off, you know, for 6 laps on that big half mile, I was pleased. But again, there's a lot of stuff we can still do to the car that we're still learning and growing and everything else too.
You know, from that perspective, I would assume that, you know, not even having anything to do with the other car, but I'm assuming his confidence level would be building in the modified, just running a you know, a different car or something a little more horsepower, torque.
He says he can. The modified is so easy now. He says it's kind of like driving on a highway in the modified. You know, now the late model's a different ballgame. He said, I'm white knuckled everywhere I'm going and what I'm doing because of the horsepower and everything that it's got. But I was hoping that was going to translate into the modified and make him better in the modified. And some of the things we're doing for the late model is transferring into the mod. Of course, we've only raced the mod one time, and we was out there at Dodge City. We had to do the top 10 since it's the first show. We have to do the redraw of the top 10, and of course, guess what he draws? 10.
I don't know who's drawing for you guys.
We trade back and forth and
you
everything. We just can't. We can't draw for nothing.
I can think of probably count on one hand the number of
just
draws,
how lucky we are. Tanner Mullen's son Trip was out there, and he goes in the late models and draws for Tanner and draws 1. Okay. So then it's time for the modifieds, and Tanner looks at us and says, "What should we do here?" And Jake is Trip, go draw. And Trip rose up there and draws 10. So anyway, started 10th and got the modified all the way to the 4th, and you know, just. But the other thing is, then we were back to back. Kyler had put us back to back, so we had to run and sprint, get him in the late model, and get going and run another 20 laps in the late model, and of course finished second there. So just a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, but. Soul guys getting wore out a little bit after, so
can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that completely. So, for sure. Hey, tomorrow's Mother's Day.
It is. Are you setting ready?
No, not at all.
Me either.
Yeah, not at all. Fall short on that. Maybe more often than I should. Just being busy and having 900 irons in the fire. You know how that goes, or relates to for sure. So,
Double Dot, good morning. Jeff Daniels, good morning. And John LaSalle, good morning, guys. Hey, thanks again for giving us a great racetrack to run on. Both classes put on a heck of a show. John, I agree with you 100%. Thanks for racing with us. It was great to see your car. Hopefully, maybe this next Tuesday you can get your car and bring it up to the Pizza Ranch for a little fun for the kids.
Yeah. So explain what what do they do up there?
You know, the Pizza Ranch has been a fantastic sponsor for us. We picked them up new this year. Donnie Bean and Diana Carvana over there. They are a fantastic workforce. So we have our VIP nights every night, and they come down there and cater the food and give everybody the food down there for VIP night. And they're just fun and exciting to be around. But anyway, every Tuesday night from 4:30 to 8, every kid that comes with a paying adult eats free at Pizza Ranch. So we bring in race cars over there, letting the kids get in the cars, and then we're actually giving every kid that comes in that night a free ticket to the races. This last Tuesday, we ran out of time with everything and trying to get cars there, but we still gave tickets away for that. So every Tuesday night, Pizza Ranch, 4:30 to 8, kids eat free with a paid adult. And you know what?
And then turn around and get a free
ticket to the races.
Free ticket to the races too. So dang, that's awesome.
Exactly. So we got a caller coming in.
Yeah, we do. Hey, let's go to the phones and talk to Larry. Larry, good morning. You're on live with Under the Hood.
Yeah, morning, guys. A long-time listener. I just wanted to give a shout-out to Phil, bringing racing back to the fairgrounds. Just listening last night and hearing going. I thought, man, this is the way it used to be. Yeah, and the fair was here. And it was just good, Phil, to hear that going on. You brought a lot of excitement to the community.
Well, I appreciate that. It's I tell you, that was my goal, was to save a racetrack, and I think we've done it. You know, from that part, and bringing these races back is fun, exciting. But I'm going to tell you, the work on the backside of this thing is so much work and so much stuff for Nick and I and the whole gang here at the dealerships. But you know, from Josh and Kelly putting together a water truck for us, and Gus hanging in the back in the IT room, helping everything out on that side of the thing. But there's so much in the backside of this to keep this racetrack alive. It's crazy. But I'm going to tell you, the excitement level that I get from going over and working in the community and selling partnerships and stuff, it's the excitement level, the interesting level is great. Just some of the sponsors that we've picked up this year, from B&B Hydraulics are excited that Bill Speakman was there last night, and he couldn't be more excited. And Tanner Rail was there. He couldn't be more excited. He's a little boy down there on the stage having a blast. Alan Samuels kicking on with us. I mean, there's just Quality Body Shop, Lowen Graphics, Bob Gertz Auto, Hutch Auto Body, Pro Value Insurance, Woodwork Manufacturing, AutoZone, Superior Boiler. They're fun to be around with too. Hutchinson Community College is involved. Scotch Professional Landscaping, Weber Auto Glass, Pizza Ranch, of course. APAC Shears is jumping with another water truck and stuff. Color by Design, they're right there on 30th Street. Hutch Tony Recovery's out there helping us with the wreckers, and we had one incident last night that we needed him, so that was good. And he jumped in there and did real good. Heartland Credit Union, Central Spray Foam, wow. Ethan Hafner's jumped in real hard. Elliott Mortuary, Tom Elliott, thank you for everything for that part. And then, of course, everything of last year from Murphy Tractor Equipment, Richard Brothers Construction, Andale Ready Mix, BG Products, Construction Rentals, Evans Building, Zener Electric, Can Equip, Egbert, and Bradbury Company. I mean, the list goes on. And I just signed up with, this week, we signed up with RCB Bank, and also First National Bank has also jumped in the deal. So it's fun and exciting from that part. It's just
a lot of businesses want to see that thing go. Right.
They do. And they want to be, and they see the excitement level that the people have there. And it's like last night, the most thrilling part for me is like I get done all racing and I'm wore out. And the racers come up and say, hey, thank you for a great racetrack. Thank you for everything you're doing. And then I go in the people come down in the pits and the fans are excited and they're having fun. And I had a lady come up to me last night. She says, this is an entertainment place now. She said, it used to be just racing. She said, you do so many more things for the racetrack, and the kids are having fun. The announcers getting everybody involved from that part. Now, I will tell you, May 23rd is our next race. It's our kickoff for IMCA race, and it's kids' night. And I've got just talking here. I had Jeremy just post up, hey, I want to give a donation to the kids' night. And I had probably 3 or 4 people come up to me last night and say, hey, I want involved in the kids' deal. Still looking for a sponsor. I would love to find a sponsor that would buy every kid a ticket to get in free that night. Wow. From that part too. So we're looking for that too. But again, all these other sponsors I just rattled off are fantastic work for. It's fun, exciting, and just can't wait for the 23rd for our next race and the things we're going to do with the kids' night.
Well, Phil, the excitement is growing, and you had the fortitude to step out there and just go after it.
Yeah,
and we appreciate it.
No, you're very welcome. I appreciate that part. That's what means a lot to us, to all of us here at Mel Hambelton, is keeping us alive, and all those great sponsors and everything. And there's so much more to do that we want to do and stuff like that too that's coming up. But it's going to get fun and get excited. I can't wait for the May 30th. We're bringing in the ASCS sprint cars. That's the first time they've ever been racing on that track for a long, long time. That 360 sprint cars on national touring events. I think that's going to be a kicker. In really good. And then of course we got that big USAC race coming again in the middle of July. I can't wait for that. So the 100 lapper coming back again from that part too. So a lot of exciting stuff, a lot of fun things. And I'm glad you like the noise around there, because it is fun to hear that noise and stuff too. And a lot of people talked about the people living around a racetrack didn't like it, but I'm gonna tell you, I've yet to find anybody that didn't come up to us while we're working on the track or whatever, or being at the track, that the neighbors will come up and drive around and again, doing what you're doing, thanking us for doing it, because they love it too. So it's a great community thing, and we just got to keep filling the stands and keep things going. It's all
right. Well, just a great shout out to you then, Phil. Okay.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Anyway, so rattling off all those great sponsors. Everybody's helping us, Josh. It's really been enthusiastic. It's just like yesterday we met with First National Bank, and they jumped on and ready to go. And got a few more people we're still talking to and stuff. I wish there was about 4 of Nick and I to go over and sell, because we just don't have the time to talk to everybody that we want to from that part.
Yeah, I understand that completely. And, from so like Larry calling in and stuff like that, all the great sponsors are a great thing. But at the end of the day, like from an individual standpoint, people in the stands, bring somebody, bring somebody out, and the spectator side of it is probably, I would say, as far as an individual being able to support it, that's the best way for them to contribute to that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very true. And if you haven't been to the racers, just come once. That's all it takes is one time to come and have fun. It's like I was standing down there and I got a text from Tanner Rail. He says, "How can I get across that racetrack?" And I looked over across. I seen him there, and he had his little boy with him. So I grabbed him, brought him across, and he was grinning ear to ear. I mean, it's just that kind of a deal. Once you get there once, it's fun.
Racing wasn't a thing until they made the second car.
Yeah, that's exactly
or
right.
I guess the second guy got on his horse or so. However,
Something,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Once there was two of something, racing started. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's such a motivator to get people into the automotive industry in general, whether it's on the sales side or a parts side or in the in the quick lane or as a technician. I think a lot of the desire to have a nice vehicle or kind of customize something or to soup it up and make it faster, or just the desire to learn how that works. I think it's such a again, kind of what intrigues people to go into the automotive industry early on, is having that sport like that.
And it just breeds hand in hand. I mean, it just kind of works kind of that way. I mean, you see most technicians are involved in some type of racing somewhere.
Yeah.
Some form of fashion, whether it's dirt, drag, motorcycle, there's
just,
some kind of
catch
racing.
The bug, if you will. And
yeah. Motorcycles too, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got two of those right there. That's the problem.
Well, I got two, all right.
Aaron EJ, Jeremy Kane, thank you for the sponsorship for the kids' night. Appreciate that. Jeff Daniel coming next week. Okay.
Getting the first oil change
on the old Power Boost. And he's got a little surprise. I wonder what that little surprise might be.
Huh.
That ought to be good and exciting. So we'll see what that little surprise is. So anyway, hey, nothing kicking off my mind, everybody. The employee pricing is out there on all new Fords and almost everything except the 25 Super Duties. And I begged Ford to put that out there, but they just haven't done it yet. And then also the 25 Expedition. And I get that. That's a brand new truck out there. It's selling great. It's a beautiful vehicle and stuff like that too. But let me explain this employee pricing to you just so you understand how cool and how great of pricing tool this is. If Josh and I want to buy a vehicle, we buy it what Ford calls this on the invoice called D plan. And that's back of invoice. And then A plan is for your Ford employees, which is a deeper discount yet. And that's what this employee pricing is. It's A plan pricing. And I'm telling you, it's crazy how good this is. Ford has extended it, but again, I don't know if they're going to turn around. They can extend it, they can take it away, everything else like that too. But no one's got more inventory than we have right now. I have fought, scratched, and clawed to get as much inventory as I know you got to have it to sell it. So if you're looking for a new Ford, you want a great deal. I'm telling you, it doesn't get much better right now than what we've got from that part. So if you're looking for something, jump on our website, mhford.com, and check out the employee pricing. It's all out there on the price. So it's kind of fun to sell cars again because you just don't have to negotiate because there's the price. People think there's more to have. I mean, there's no more to be had here. It's that good of pricing from that. And I mean, before this pricing come out, very rarely we'd ever have an A plan person walk in the store to be able to do an A plan pricing. So for everybody now to get that A plan pricing is pretty cool.
Yeah, I got the opportunity the other day. I was working with one of the new expeditions and a cruise control deal, and so got the opportunity to drive one of those. And just the feature comforts in that thing is crazy.
Well, I would tell you
what they've done to it.
I see Ethan Hafner is listening in. He owns Central Spray Foam. He's one of our great sponsors over at Hutch, Salt City. He put in a bunch of money for the Heartland Modified Touring Series for the purse, and now he's become the Winter Circle sponsor. So excited for that. So Ethan giving back to the racing community, all sorts of form and stuff. But he bought a brand new 25 Expedition.
Okay.
So Ethan, I don't know if you want to call in and tell everybody how that is, or maybe you need to get Shelby to call in and tell everybody how you're doing with that 25 Expedition. They bought a Black King Ranch. Very first King Ranch we got in, and I know Shelby was excited the day they got it. What I was upset about it was raining that day when she picked it up, so it wasn't
didn't stay clean long.
No, it sure didn't. So Ethan, if you're still watching, still listening, or Shelby's around, I'd love to hear from you. Tell everybody how you're loving that expedition. But again, just can't thank you enough for the partnership and everything you're doing at Salt City Racing. And I got to tell you, racing in general, not just Salt City, but just racing in general, Ethan. I really appreciate that, and I think he understands that too, Josh, because giving back for his company and Central Spray Foam and that sort of thing. And I think it's just great community, great deal. So, Ethan, if you want to talk about that expedition, love to hear from you. Or get Shelby on the phone. Love to hear from her and tell everybody what she's thinking of that. I know when she left here that day, she was grinning ear to ear. So.
Yeah, the dash on that thing, and then the other thing I seen. So you turn a turn signal on, which the Super Duties will do it now if you have a trailer hooked up, where it gives you a side view of the, a side view. But on the Super Duties, it's in the center stack portion of it. But on the Expeditions, it's right up there on the cluster that's right up beside, so you can kind of see down the side of the vehicle. And I hopped in something the other day, and I was driving it around, and it was old enough there was no backup camera.
No backup camera. You didn't drive it, could you, Josh?
Yeah, there's no backup camera. There was no reverse sensors. I was like, how in the world? How do you park this thing? So it's just amazing how custom you come to those features as they evolve. And
well, I remember the first time I got in the Super Duty, had my racer hooked on, and I turned that left turn signal on, and all of a sudden there's everything. There's a whole side of the trailer going down, where I can see where I'm at. I mean, hey, that's pretty cool.
And so now the Expeditions are doing that, and then the way they have the steering wheel, and
it's a little steering wheel. And I first thought that until I finally got to drive one the other day.
Yeah.
And that little steering wheel, I mean, you don't really notice it. I mean, it's very cool, very easy. So there's some engineering or some marketing person got in behind that one and knew what to do with that steering wheel.
Give you just a little more room, up there because of it. But the buttons and that, I forgot the name of what they call that switch, but basically it's like an intelligent switch, and you just scroll through your menu by rolling your thumb around the switch, and it's just very intuitive and easy to operate, I guess, from that side of it.
Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I just drove one just a little bit. I really haven't got down and sat down and play with one and all that part either. So excited to be able to get some more of those in. I think I've only got one in stock right now because they come in and they're gone.
Yep.
From that part too. So
what I will say, for the most part, we've seen kind of a lot of the higher trim level models, right? Like,
there's some, we've got some Actives out there too that have sold. They did a pretty good job, in my opinion. It took longer to get them. Of course, it's always my opinion. You get the anticipation, you want to see it. But now that they're out, I mean, the volume's coming, like they need to.
But it's a decent
variable, of what we see and stuff too from that part. So. Anyway, hey, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything you want to talk about in the automobile world? We'd love to hear from you and give you a great package valued over $130 for each and every caller. So, all right, Josh, let's flip to service. What's new and exciting for May in the service side?
Definitely been busy over there. And this time of year, it really amps up. You got graduations are right around the corner. In fact, we're headed to one tomorrow. And so,
who's graduating tomorrow?
Brian's son Luke is graduating up in Tipton.
Okay.
Which hard to believe. Can't believe that that's happening already. But so headed up there.
Yep. Cool.
But
a lot of graduations going on.
Yeah, I know Haven has theirs today, and there's several others already going on. But then with that comes kids home from college and vacations and stuff like that. And it just seems like the summer side of things, man, it just takes off, and we get extremely busy during summer. But then also you get staff, taking family vacations and summer vacations and stuff like that. So, but definitely if your son or daughter's home from college, like, now's the time to be thinking about, hey, let's look at that car. Let's make sure that everything's
don't wait till August 14th when they're leaving on August 15th.
Make sure that everything's ready to go and geared up for sure. And then just as far as things this week that we've been dealing with in the shop, it just seems like a lot of like crazy module programming on different things and different features, and the amount of tech that they're putting in these vehicles as a consumer, I think, is great. But where I guess I'm headed with that is, I cannot imagine being an independent repair facility or and having to navigate around some of this stuff, because there's so many instances or cases that we get involved in repairing a vehicle that I think, okay, if that was at, Joe's garage or something like that, there would be absolutely no way that vehicle could get repaired. Or if it did get repaired, like the length of time that it would take to understand and diagnose what was going on with that thing, from a complication level. And I just the underhood, or the diagnostic side of things on this new technology, as an independent garage, I don't know how in the world you make it.
Well, I'm going to go clear back in, Josh. You're saying that now today. And, I started out at, I'll tell you, I started out washing cars at Long MacArthur in Salina, because I was going to Salina Tech School. And I left Long Mac and went to an independent garage and worked there for a year. And I quickly realized back then, this was in 84. And I knew I needed to get back in the dealership, for one, because just the training that I was lacking and not being able to get. So that's clear back in the 80s. Think about what it is today, like you're talking about. So I knew I needed to get back in the dealership quick, and I did. And I didn't pick the right dealership, of course, until I got to Topeka, when I found the right store that would actually had plenty of work and would train me. And it was it's an ongoing battle for these technicians to keep training and training and training. And you're right. I don't know how that the independent world sticks there and keeps going. Because just like my day and age, back in, if you walked into a shop and the technician had a shop manual out, he had no clue what he was doing. Today, if you walk in and they don't have their laptop out, they have no clue what they're doing. I mean, it's a whole different ball game. Like you talk about, this programming fixes so many things on these cars today, versus back in me tearing motors apart and tearing trainings apart and all that kind of stuff. But it's just a way that the technology, like you said, the technology has changed and stuff. But you got to be in a good dealership to be able to help support you as a technician. But the other thing, you as a consumer, you want to know that dealership's got the right tacts there to diagnose your car and not misdiagnose the car. And from that part.
Yeah, definitely. Agree with that. The training that we put these guys through is crucial. And had the opportunity. So last week I went to North High and actually did the show from North High.
Yeah.
And they were having a car show down there, and the car show was to support the Skills USA competition, which years ago used to be the VICA Skills competition.
I went through that too.
And North High had took 2 students to that, and we had the one gentleman on the show with us, Isaac, and he took second in that competition.
Cool.
Over there, which was really cool to have him on the show and to be able to talk to him about the competition and everything like that. But the trying to talk to him about this was after the show, and him and I were visiting for quite a while, and his plan is to go into the aviation industry and do like an AMP type deal and stuff like that, is what his long-term goal is. And some of the things that I was visiting with him about is, you want to make sure that when you're going somewhere, what's their goals on, training staff and making sure that you have the latest and greatest information, because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, as an employee, of somebody having an expectation of you to produce so much or to be at this level, but then they don't want to put any investment into you to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? And I could not imagine being in that situation as an employee and just being frustrated, and so from a training level, I mean, there's not a stitch of training that, if it's available out there, that I don't want a technician to have.
Right.
But I know from being in the industry that, that there's places out there that are very stingent upon that and don't share the same philosophies, and are just trying to run something, from an expense standpoint, and don't want the expense, don't see the value in that. And with today's technology, like, I just don't see how you could spare that expense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's investing in employees to be able to diagnose the cars right, do it right, fix it right. I get involved in so many times with people calling me, they're traveling or doing something, whatever, and they've got problems with the cars they can't diagnose. I just had one here the other day where a guy called me and told me, and this is no kidding, Josh, a dealership turned down a warranty repair because he had put a different bumper on the front of the truck. He said, "Nope, sorry, warranty's over, so it's void because you put a different bumper on the truck." I said, just bring it here and let us fix it. I said, I don't know why you didn't bring it here in the first place, because this other place, he goes, that other place was closer. I thought they'd take care of me. But yeah, they declined his warranty fix due to he had put a bumper on the front of the truck, put one of those, kind of a deer guard or cradle guard bumpers on it. And he says, it's not a big bumper. It's just, just a little different protection I wanted to put on the front of the truck. And does this really void my warranty? I said, no, it doesn't void your warranty. Just get it here. So I don't know if he's made it here yet or whatever, but it's just things like that. It's just that makes our industry, it looks us bad too.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts from that standpoint. And I still have the same analogy. If, you go somewhere to get taken care of, if you have to wait, there's a reason you're having to wait. Well, I guess I should look at that a different way. If you're having to wait because there's so much work ahead of you or too many cars ahead of you, I think that's a different ballgame. If you're having to wait because they're misdiagnosing or don't have the parts or don't have whatever, that's a different ballgame. But it's like I use my same analogy as a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant, nobody's there, do you want to stay and eat? Not really. Not
well,
very
it depends
interested.
if it's 3:00 in the afternoon or
I don't know.
or 5. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Or midnight or
or midnight or whatever. Yeah, I get it. So, hey, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything in the automobile world, love to hear from you. We'll get the phones ringing, and we'll answer your question and give you a great price package, about over $130 for each and every caller.
What do you think they'll do a revamp on the Bronco?
It's coming. It's ready to come.
Yeah, I was wondering about that the other day because it's been out since,
yeah.
I mean, probably what, 19,
21.
21. Yeah.
21. So, yeah, I do think it's coming. I think there's going to be some stuff coming on the Broncos. It's time. Just like everything else, 3 to 4 or 5 years, they redo something or whatever. How big of a change it'll be or whatever, I'm not sure. I do hear there's going to be a price reduction coming on the Raptor, which should be cool, finally. It's a really cool truck. It's really a fun truck to drive and everything else too. But I do think it's overpriced for what. But it was bringing those monies during the COVID side and stuff. So I think Ford's coming back with a price reduction on those, or a rebate or something from that part.
Some sort of incentive with it.
Yeah. So they do have a big, huge rebate on the 24s, just nothing on the 25s. But I think some will be here on the 25s before we know it too. But anyway, just like I was talking to a lady yesterday, she's in an Edge. She said, I think I really like a Bronco, but I'm not sure I can get in it. And I said, well, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Got to come try and jump in one and see what happens.
Well, and with that, there's so many different models of them.
It is.
As far as what the option is. And so everybody thinks Bronco, they think big off-road 4-wheel drive and, tall tires and stuff like that. But you can get in some of those that don't have that,
Yeah. I mean, you take there is a wide range of from the Big Bend all the way up to the Wild Track and Badlands. And then you put the Sasquatch package on it with the big 35s and stuff. Yeah, different ballgame. But if you get in the most popular one is our Outer Banks model, which is a nice 4-door, decent set of tires on it and stuff. Looks cool, everything else too. But just a lot of options, a lot of things to do. And then the things that you can accessorize the Bronco with is crazy too.
Yeah. There's a lot of different options out there, and we can talk about accessories all day long, but that's one of those things that you want to make sure that you're doing it the right way, because been involved in a lot of situations where things weren't either installed correctly or it wasn't really the right product for the vehicle, and it was more of a universal type situation, and just didn't work well or ended up causing additional damage to something. And then I don't know, I think you can even talk about the accessory side of things on the trade-in of a vehicle. And when you see somebody that's put a bunch of stuff on a vehicle and it just doesn't fit well, kind of what that does to the value of it. I think of that Mustang that we talked about a couple months ago, and the guy had a spark, a flamethrower out the back of the exhaust of it. And I mean, you're talking a Mustang with 15,000 miles on it, and the car was just it
destroyed.
It just ruined it.
Destroyed. It was body panels were beat up, the tires were bald. I mean, it was a terrible situation.
There's just the next consumer is not going to want it.
Yeah.
And so now, was it cool shooting flames out the exhaust as it was going down the road?
It might have been.
I think there was probably a day in both of our days that
we might have thought about doing something like that too.
Of course, back then though, you were dumping so much raw unburned fuel down the exhaust anyways.
Sometimes you just got it if you didn't want it. You got it anyway.
you were yeah, throwing flames out of necessity, not out of desire.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. I oftentimes wonder, take like a high school kid and put in a, something carbureted or whatever. And
Carbureted,
say,
no power brakes and
yeah,
no power steering and no AC, and just see what happens. And
yeah,
it's manual.
yeah. Hey, go drive this.
Yeah.
For how many ever miles, or parking lot maneuvers, or
Yeah. It's like Jake. He wants me. My son. He keeps begging me to go take my first car, my '75 Chevelle, and redo it. He goes, "Don't you want to drive it again?" No.
yeah.
But what it drives like compared to what this new stuff drives like, no. I just assume put money in. It's just fine sitting there in my garage, looking pretty, sitting there. He says, "You don't want to drive it anymore?" No, I really don't have no desire to drive that car again. I drove it enough.
Well, and then too, I think, I the other day I was looking at something, and it was I don't even remember. I think it was like a 2000 model or something. I looked up the horsepower on it just out of curiosity. It was like 285 horsepower, and back then, like, that was, I mean, it wasn't the most, but it was a considerable amount of horsepower. And I was like, man, we're doing that out of a 3-cylinder, man. Pretty close to
it's
it.
like I found my the GTA. I looked it up that I was so proud of back in '87, and it was the powerhouse.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember what the horsepower was, Josh, so I had to look it up. Guess how much? 185 horsepower. And I thought we were incredible. Yeah, that part too. So yeah, it's crazy.
And just, I mean, I don't know, just to think about that, and how far that's come. But then also everything else that goes around with it, the ride, the suspension, the handling, the brakes.
Yes.
I think of brakes, man. I can remember driving a pickup with 4-wheel drum brakes that, like, there were times where you couldn't stop at a stop sign.
Yeah, you just got to roll. You had to lay both ways and roll right on through, right?
If you did not plan far enough ahead, like, it wasn't happening. There was nothing you could do, and there's nothing like that feeling. And now, I mean, we're so dependent upon it. You do 72 the light, and then
sick, smack them things down, and off you go.
Yeah, for sure.
So I hear you need to get the sheriff involved to get into Tipton.
Mayor. Yeah,
I think you're gonna need the sheriff on top.
Does the sheriff override?
How about the
the chief of the
fire
chief?
Think he can let you in? Or anything?
I think.
Little inside joke there. Mr. Jared Shivers thinks that Josh can't go into Tipton.
Have to sneak in the back door, I guess. I don't know.
Well, what is Tipton? They got 6 people in that town.
Well,
maybe 8.
Yeah, I'm going to say 100, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. You got to get in there. Got to get a key to get in there. Whoop! I wish I had time to come right on up there with old Josh, Jared. We'd blow in there and see if you get your high-powered fire department and your sheriff department come chase us out of there. That's what I'd love to do. We'd have fun with that. Then you have to catch us because you're. So, anyway, Josh, once again, had a fun time at Salt City last night. Employee pricing is going on here at Mel Hambelton Ford. Next race at Salt City is May 23rd. Is our opener IMCA night. It's Kids Night. So get your kids, come out. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a Touch a Truck event again. Got a lot of exciting stuff coming there for that.
Explain the Touch a Truck.
Well, we did one. We put one together real fast, the very first race, and we had the city brought out fire truck. We had the big hook and ladder truck there. They planted the anchors out to the side, outriggers.
Gotcha.
Had a big ladder in the air.
Will that ladder reach the roof of the grandstand?
Oh yeah, they had it above the grandstand.
Really?
They were sitting there watching the races from there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. There 2 of them are sitting in the bucket watching the races from up there. But yeah, we had ambulances. We had the SWAT team. We had the National Guard. We had Can Equip brought out a big old tractor for the kids to play around on stuff. So
Can we get a tank?
Huh?
Can we get a tank?
We tried. But there is a tank, but it wasn't available from the National Guard on that time. So we're still working on all that kind of stuff too. Looking for a sponsor. Anybody would love to I want somebody to stand in front of that line out there and give it and buy tickets, but give it away. Give every ticket a free ticket to get that race. I think it'd be so cool for a company to stand there with your employees or whatever, with your your logos on or whatever, and handing those kids those tickets, and what that would mean to the community, mean to those kids, and mean to your company, showing that you're giving back to the racetrack and giving back to the community of Hutchinson, or surrounding areas and stuff too, for that part. But I got a lot of people coming in throwing money at it for donations. I got Cody Wins throwing bikes at it. I got people coming at me throwing cash at it. If you've got anything you think of, you might think would be cool for us, the kids' night, let us know. We'd love to have you. And from that part, and again, every Tuesday night, head to Pizza Ranch for kids' night. Kids eat free from 4:30 to 8. We're going to try to have some more race cars over there Tuesday again. Give every kid that goes through Pizza Ranch a free ticket. We will give those tickets free if you go to Pizza Ranch. We'll give you some free tickets to get into the races on the 23rd for that part. And then kicks off May 30th with the ASCS 360 sprint cars, and hang on to your tail for those guys, because that'll be a blast race too.
Yeah.
So, Josh, anything
Very
else
nice.
exciting? Anything else you need to talk about whatsoever?
No, like I said, just happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are listening for sure. And then, if you need your car service for a vacation or a trip that you have coming up, let's get it on the list and get it taken care of for sure.
All right, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Happy to all the mothers out there. Everybody have a great day today. Have a great Saturday. Tune in Wednesday for an update at Salt City. Tune in next Saturday, 9 o'clock for the next Under the Hood show right here from Mel Hambelton Ford. Everybody, talk to you soon.